You are listening to the Savage FINcast Retro, Episode 18, Freak Force 5 and 6.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the Dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the only podcast that draws like John Byrne. I'm Raven Perez.
I'm Jim Purcell.
And I'm Craig Olson.
And I really wish I could draw like John Byrne. I mean,
You will.
No.
You will. Give it time. On a long enough timeline, we all do.
I'm not even sure it's something I want.
You don't.
I wish I could at least draw like Vic Bridges.
You know, what a backhanded compliment.
I don't know why people compare him to Byrne, because Bridges is good.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, come on. I like Byrne. You guys don't like Byrne?
I have no opinion on him. I just don't care. I'm indifferent.
Byrne is what I call, like, DC 90, late 80s house style. It's like, it's
absolutely.
not interesting.
I don't know, man. He was like a superstar in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I loved him as a kid.
I mean, I understand.
I still do.
His X-Men run is, what put him on the map, but, I mean, even that, in my opinion, he's no,
Ethan Van Sciver?
No, I'm going...
Jesus.
God damn it.
Really, wipe your mind, I know.
Guys, I love John Byrne. I love all his stuff. Even, I'm not
Even
going to apologize.
Babe? Did you read Babe?
Wait, no, I did not.
You fucking liar. You're a fake fan.
His what? What is it, Babe?
Yeah. Babe.
Yes, I am a fake fan. I don't know. I like all of his Marvel and DC rehash stuff. All his Kirby rewritten, kind of rehashed, kind of
Wait, explain
fan
for
fiction.
Somebody who doesn't know shit about Byrne. Explain what that means. His rehash stuff. What do you mean?
Well, I feel like Byrne obviously loves Kirby and seems to have taken on a lot of Kirby properties and breathed new life into them. Like his Fantastic Four run is pretty well known, and it's a pretty great run. It's actually my second favorite run after Kirby. And then it's just like with Eric making fun of him, with
always.
Well, yeah, Johnny Redbeard stuff. I mean, he had a run on Namor where he redid Namor. I mean, everyone knows his Superman stuff where he...
Eric's been making fun of Byrne since the beginning. I mean, he made fun of Byrne in Freak Force. He made fun of Byrne in Dragon, of course, because the Knicks men, those replacement guys from the Freak Force issue a couple issues back.
Well, I guess company man Byrne was just... shitting on Image.
I think it was just really uncool at the time. He wasn't hip.
Well, I think with Byrne, I think he
wasn't hip.
Like you said, he's a company man, and I feel like he was pissed off that he didn't get in on the action in a way. I think it was a lot of jealousy that he was the it guy in the 80s.
He was. I get what you're saying, because it would have made sense for him to be a part of Image.
All right, so I can now I can now finish my thought. John Byrne is no Dave Cockrum, was the statement I intended to make.
So you didn't mean Ethan. All right, that's okay.
Anyway, I do like Byrne. I think he reveres Kirby. I think he kind of makes good stories. He does have some trip-ups. I enjoy it. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, like I said, dude, understand that I don't have feelings one way or the other, because this is a guy who works very much in just corporate comics. And so for me, it's like, well, what am I? What would I have read of his? Babe.
Yeah, Alpha Flight, X-Men.
Babe is it. Next Man, yeah. Next Man, Babe, like that's
I actually do have most of his Next Men run because I picked them up out of dollar bins, and one of these days I'm going to read it just to satiate my own curiosity.
I mean, I like cartoonists like Eric, guys that can write and draw, and those are the guys that tend to kind of have longer runs, I feel like, in comics.
Sure.
And I enjoy a comic that's got a nice long run by the same team. And if you're writing and drawing, usually it's kind of easier for those guys.
Of course.
I have to say, I have to just make. I know we're talking a lot about John Byrne for no reason, but I gotta just say this: John Byrne. I don't like John Byrne retroactively because as I read more and more Legion of Superheroes comics, I discovered that in the late 80s, when Byrne rebooted Superman, his decisions that Superman was never Superboy directly resulted in basically the destruction of the entire Legion of Superheroes history and has essentially led to all of the restarts and reboots that have followed.
I get it. Yeah, that would have been very damning.
From the Legion being one of DC's premier titles, like best-selling, just thrown in the trash because Byrne had to have it his way, and the Legion is not allowed to reference Superman or Superboy for a number of years. Because Byrne doesn't like the Legion. Apparently he does not like Superboy, and he does not like the Legion. Conceptually.
It's
I don't
weird.
think Byrne likes a lot of stuff.
Corporate comics are weird to me that like they will just let one guy like fucking take the wheel. And like really
It's all about sales.
Especially in the late 80s and the early 90s, it was very auteur driven.
Well, but I mean, it's kind of like still like even with Bendis, it's like, oh, he's an architect. Let's just put him over everything. Oh.
Yeah,
or
for
like,
a while.
Same with
Marvel with like New Avengers and stuff. Like Bendis was gonna do everything. It was just talking heads for like 5 years.
I know, dude, and it was rough. And like even like after Bendis, they're like, oh, here's Matt Fraction. You know, he's gonna just do every goddamn thing, and it's like, it's so weird.
What does Bendis do now? He was at DC for a while.
He is still at DC. In fact, he is now writing Justice League. He was on the Superman books. He relaunched Legion of Superheroes. Now he's done with Superman, and now he's writing Justice League. That is what Bendis is doing at DC.
Was that a
just
fart?
stick to creator-owned stuff. Yes.
I don't know. Crazy thing about Bendis, I know we're still tangenting like a motherfucker.
Yeah, we're in the weeds.
It's okay. It's interesting. We've
not done the intro.
When I got into comics in the early 2000s, one of the hottest books, according to Wizard Magazine, was Powers.
I liked Powers. Sure.
And I read it for a couple of years, and I understand why it was popular, but I don't like it. Brian Michael Bendis, in my opinion, cannot write a mystery and stick the landing on it. Every single one of his mysteries that he sets up, you'd never get enough information to figure it out on your own. It is always solved in the final issue with information that you never saw coming. Every single time.
Murder, She Wrote style.
I'd probably have to read it again, but it was a good premise, a good kind of something that really wasn't done before. Although it did cross over the kind of like superhero cop kind of thing.
So it translates even to his his superhero work. The only corporate comic Bendis that wrote that I read was Legion of Superheroes, and fact is it was okay. It is not the best version of Legion, although it has a lot of great ideas. But the big problem is he sets up all these really cool ideas, and he can't stick the landing. He just can't.
You just described Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. I never read Ultimate Spider-Man, but I got a really good feeling based on what you just said that it was a lot of the same shit.
The thing is that like what's funny is that I took into the whole. I was a Marvel zombie once too. A lot of people ride my ass. They're like, whoa.
No, wait a minute. Wait, what?
Well, no, dude.
How can that be?
We all start out as Marvel zombies. That's how we get into this crap.
Until you grow up and you realize it is never going to change.
You grow up and you realize DC was always better.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
But the thing is that it's just like, I went into that Ultimate thing hard, and I still love the Ultimates. I still think it's great.
Because it's almost like an indie book at a corporation.
I mean, the thing about the Ultimates is that it kind of changed everything.
Because anything can happen.
it's seminal work. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's important.
I
Ultimate
was kind
Spider-Man
of done by that time.
I knew the Ultimates was bad when I read it the first time when it was new.
Oh, no, Ultimates is good, dude.
Maybe if you like Hitch's art, maybe, but I hate that book.
Agree to
Mark
disagree,
Miller
but-
can't. Mark Miller's another one, writer I can go off on, but I'm going to refrain.
I mean, he's got major lows, but like I'm just saying, like I think he did good. But goddamn, Ultimate Spider-Man, dude, it was one of those things where I realized I was like, why am I buying this? I was like, it just like goes.
How far did you actually get on that? Like how long?
I made it a long time.
Did you make it to issue 100?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I made it a long time.
I just can't handle Mark Bagley. It's too milquetoast
really?
for me.
See, that's the one thing I liked about is I like Bagley. Of all the '90s Spider-Man
It's
artists,
too milquetoast.
I like Bagley probably more than Eric on Spider-Man in the '90s.
Oh, get out of here!
Sorry,
No, not
We
even
can't
close.
be friends. I'm quitting this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I just find that he's good for consistency, but he's just boring to me.
He's a
Boring.
workhorse, and
His
that's
style
it.
is so boring.
That's it, yeah, dude. It wouldn't surprise me if he just had a Ultimate Spider-Man stamp, like he would just like stamp it down and just keep like it looks the same from panel. Talk about talking.
you guys
heads.
need to read. Well, I'm sure Craig has, and
I
don't.
love New Warriors.
Thunderbolts. Bagley on Thunderbolts, fucking choice.
No, I was already off comics by then. I got into Bagley with New Warriors, and that was one of the first comics I collected. And then he followed Eric on Spider-Man, and I was done. I was like, I don't want to... Like, to me, Spider-Man already peaked with Eric's art, and Bagley just wasn't it for me. And at that time, actually, that's when Image was starting, right? When, everyone knows the story after that, and so I kind of walked away.
As you all know. Bros, it's been 11 minutes of us going in the weeds. Let me do the intro.
Let's go.
Because people hate.
Go.
The thing is people hate when you get in the weeds. So 11 minutes of in the weeds is pretty nuts. Especially,
All right.
Listen, you're
this
listening
is why I listen to podcasts.
No, yeah, me too. But hey, look, guess what, guys? You're listening to the Savage FINcast Retro.
Oh my God, we never. I'm sorry. That's right.
Yep.
You never said Savage FINcast Retro. We went straight into Byrne talk. Oops.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's the whole time, dude. I'm dying inside. I'm like, oh goddamn.
Start again.
No, you're good. No, we're gonna roll with this. This is the Savage FINcast Retro, and this is where we take a look back at Savage Dragon and Savage Dragon adjacent comics,
like John Byrne and Mark Bagley and
right. Yeah, and the Ultimates
and Bendis. Yes, all the Savage Dragon adjacents.
Powers. No, but today we got a double header of Freak Force for ya.
I think they're using quad header. Well, sorry, that joke didn't land. I should have workshopped it more.
No. It'll make sense in a minute. But you boys feeling freaky?
Freaky deaky force.
No, don't say it.
No, listen, I'm just saying I'm kind of like I'm starting to feel my freak flag fly on these issues. These kind of like, as you know, dear listener, I wasn't the most in love with Freak Force to begin with. 1 through 4 left me a little cold. I'm starting to warm up, dude. I'm having my TMNT Urban Legends moment where I'm coming around a corner on this.
Really? So what's warmed you up? What's warmed you up so far?
I think this is like getting more interesting. There's less throwaway garbage. Vic's still got weird ass art, bro, and we'll talk about some of my favorite weird stuff. But I think Vic Bridges is getting a little more cozy and comfortable, and he's getting more into the groove with this. It's starting to gel. Just the whole package is starting to come together better for me than initially. Where like when it first started, I was just like, God, I just wish Eric was drawing this book. But now, dude, I'm okay. I'm starting to come around on it, and it's still got like there's still stuff in here where I'm like, man, is Keith Giffen human? Like no one talks like this.
Oh, they doing Keith the Giffen comics.
They sure do, dude. Put a sock on it, not in it, on it. You know what I mean?
This is pretty much how Justice League International talks.
Yeah, it's which
you probably haven't read.
I haven't, but
no.
Man. But it's starting. I'm saying I'm excited. I'm excited for us to talk about these issues because for me, I knew I would warm up on this shit. And like I'd heard, for instance, I'd heard you guys talk about absorbing Junior.
I couldn't remember who that was. I had to really rack my brains to remember where I last saw him. And in fact, I'm looking him up on the wiki right now to doubly refresh my memory.
But I'm just saying it's exciting for me because I've heard some really big stuff happens in 5 and 6. And it's exciting to me to kind of finally get to read this stuff. Like, I've heard you guys talk about absorbing Junior forever, dude. And now I finally, like, fucking saw him. You know what I mean? Or I heard you guys talk about, like, the Mighty Man reveal forever. And it's like, no, dude, right. I'm actually reading it, you know? I don't know. It's pretty
that's
cool.
Right. If you never read Freak Force, you never actually read when Mighty Man was revealed to be Nurse St. Stevens.
Right, dude. It was just like, oh, well, shit.
And that means you didn't read the thing that happens in the next issue.
Well, dude, Rapture. That whole Rapture thing. I was like, what?
I'll be honest. I assumed this entire time she was just a mutant. I had no idea that was a thing either.
I know, dude. I forgot you're reading this for the first time, too.
Yeah, I've never read this, dude.
So it's like, when you got there, weren't you just like, goddamn, Rapture's origin? What? Just like a page?
It's so matter of fact, too.
Yeah. Just, meh. Dr. Nirvana. Meh. So, no, I'm excited, dude. I think these issues do a lot more cool stuff than 1 through 4 combined. And so, yeah, I'm hyped to kind of... I'm feeling the love for Freak Force.
It's a good way for Eric to get a lot of development, too, outside of Savage Dragon.
Well, Craig, that's what's freaking me out, man, is these are kind of big developments, and they're not in Savage Dragon, and Eric didn't even write them.
True.
I mean, he's scripted, you know.
Oh, wait a minute. You said the script sounds wonky. Eric is the scripter. Giffen just plotted and laid it out.
Well, who says put a sock on it?
Clearly Eric Larson, circa 1994.
There's moments in here where I'm just like, what?
I mean, in a lot of ways, he's channeling his inner, like, Lee Kirby Fantastic Four, so that's the kind of thing that the Thing would probably say in 1960s. Yeah.
But right. Like, okay, Screech, howl, let me down. It's like...
Yeah, Screech, howl.
Screech, howl? Like, that just doesn't feel like Eric dialogue.
Wait, who said Screech Howl? Which character? What page?
There's a guy...
the guy that's stealing the car.
Oh, him, yeah.
Screech Howl.
I suppose that is a little weird.
Dude, there's so much... There's weirdnesses abounds.
Choke!
But, nah, man. Like, you know... I gotta say...
Let me ask you guys. The thing with Vic Bridges' art... everything is so flat to me.
Yeah, dude. Like, look at that arm on when you open the issue. It's like a big tube.
But like the panels, like when you go from reading an issue of Savage Dragon to reading an issue of Freak Force, just the layouts are so like vanilla in Freak Force that it stands out so much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You go from these like exploding panels in Savage Dragon, all different sizes, to just like those kind of square drop shadow panels, which it's I don't know, it's just not fun.
Keep in mind, Giffen is laying this out because his plotting method is he does roughs for the entire thing. It might not be Vic Bridges' fault. He might be following.
Good point.
Giffen's lead here.
I'm just surprised knowing Eric's work now for 200 and something issues that he wasn't like, hey guys, can you drop this drop shadow look with the panels? It's such a weird thing.
And it's the opening splash page is a good example of why it's weird. You say the arm looks kind of flat. I say because it comes off the panel, from outside the panel, it actually gives it a little bit of 3D look because he's reaching into the panel.
Well, I guess what I meant is it's like just stiff. It's like tubular.
And like, but with Barbaric poking his head up the top there, it looks again it's actually a little weird because he's actually looks behind Mighty Man, yet he is in front of the panel. So maybe that's not the best example.
I don't know a better place to throw this in. Bros, Barbaric looks so naked in this issue.
That's kind of true, but he's always been kind of naked.
It's like he wears a thong.
Yeah, I know, dude, the thong. Like, okay, jump over for the reader, for the listener. If you jump over to the page, it's on the right-hand side. At the top of the page, you got Barbaric getting poked in the lip by Ricochet.
Yeah.
And then the very next panel, I ought to smack you, bro. Barbaric thong.
Well, what else is he going to wear?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's so up his ass. It's hilarious. I don't think Dart's costume or Rapture's costume is as thong-like. It's funny, dude. And, Vic Bridges' weirdness. Look at the carjacker.
Yep.
Yeah.
That smile, that mouth is insane.
I love how he still has the club. It's the 90s.
Yeah.
Remember the club?
That's funny little things. Like one of the letter writers busts Eric's chops for Green Acres.
What?
And he's like, it's on TV. Somebody's got to be watching it. And it's like the club, another total product of the 90s, dude.
I mean, I watched Green Acres reruns in the 90s. That was a thing.
I know, me too. I'm just saying that, like, it's funny, like, you got to be careful, like, putting stuff in there. Well, no,
I disagree.
Eric always does.
It's a real-time book, so in fact, in this case, it actually works.
Yep, I pumped the brakes on it. I caught myself. I remembered. I was like, oh wait, that happens in Savage Dragon all the time. Never mind. What the fuck am I talking about? Another weird. Sorry, just Vic Bridges' weirdness. Another Vic Bridges' weirdness on the panel where Mighty Man is like up under the car. You know, go down to Screech How. Look at like what very much looks like a superhero with just like, I don't know, he's doing like Shadow Puppet Duck or something.
Oh, he's just gesturing.
I know, but it's weird. Or the thought that Mighty Man would drop a man from that high up down into another man's like.
That is pretty high. That's 2 stories. That will kill you.
Here you go.
For the listeners, there's the scene where Mighty Man's just kind of emptying out the car door, and the thief is just falling 2 stories down, and that typical Savage Dragon Chicago police precinct.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you actually pick up on what's going on with this car?
Yeah, it's a very weird twist. But we can't really fully talk about it unless we pop the cherry on number 6, really.
Wait, no. What okay, I don't actually understand. What do you mean? Because
he's getting carjacked.
Yeah, but...
And then Mighty Man saves it, and then it turns out it's like Ann's car.
Right, it's Ann's car.
And when Ann puts it down,
right,
apparently Ann trashes it.
And then Ann's pissed at herself for some reason. I almost feel like it's
did she do that on purpose to throw people off her trail?
It feels like a throw-off.
Yeah, but destroy your car for a fucking throw-off?
I mean, you can fly and it's insured. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, good call. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, Jim. For me, that was very confusing for a minute. Because here's the thing: is of course, I mean, I know the reveal. I won't say it, but like. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck what's Ed going on about, dude? She's raising all kinds of hell.
Well, what it seems like is she recognized the car, so the only way for Mighty Man to explain how he knew it was being stolen is to know that it was his car. So in order to cover that up, he smashed the car so that Ann would get angry about it. And so that would throw people off.
Still weird.
That is a stretch of Rooney, dude. That is a stretch and a half. But
one thing we glazed over, or we didn't even discuss, is we meet, and I call him Jerry the Inhabitor, and I don't know why. It's like calling somebody, I don't know, like saying Jerry the Inhabitor. They must call him that throughout the series. I don't know why I don't just call him the Inhabitor.
Right.
But he becomes kind of a major character in Freak Force, and I think it crosses over into Savage Dragon as well. And we'll learn more about him, but he basically can control inanimate objects.
Wait, who's Jerry the Inhabitor?
He's the guy who makes the building attack him at the beginning.
Oh, at the very beginning. Yeah, I didn't. That never got resolved in either of these 2 issues, so I have no idea. Oh, I guess you do see that one guy in the one page. Okay, so I guess that's the explanation.
Yeah, he's the guy out on the street, and the guy's like,
so he's not.
it.
So he's not named, and he doesn't come back up again for the next 2 issues. So I guess I forgot about him.
There's some real good slow drip. I was going to say Craig has got to be like in heaven because man, they are slow dripping the teases out left and right, dude. And I like it too. Like I think it's cool as shit. Like kind of like Absorbing Junior. Like he just is like soon, you know, just like sees him in the like distance and stuff. It's good.
Right.
It's good stuff. Did you guys catch that Eric has a cameo as well as Vic Bridges?
Do they?
Officer Bridges with the coffee there. And then Eric on the bulletin board.
All right.
Oh yeah.
In the police scene.
He apparently loses feeling in his head. Bros.
Oh, Eric in the news article, what does it say? Larson loses feeling in head.
Yeah, it says Larson loses feeling in his head. Salmon olive juice is a hit. Man weds elephant.
Your eyes are better than mine.
Famous cartoonist eaten by frogs. Now, who do you think that is?
No idea.
Inside jokes we'll never know. Listeners are probably like, oh my god, you idiots. You don't know who got eaten by frogs? What a dummy. Bros, Vic Bridges has like he loves that daisy. Like that daisy pattern on like Anne's dress.
Yeah.
He loves that. If you look, that daisy shows up so much. Look later.
Well, it is a nice little touch. It makes your dress, not be just like a flat color.
I'm saying, like, look on Sam Hayes' tie. There's the daisy. Like, you'll see it in picture frames. Like, the daisies are fucking everywhere, dude.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like everywhere, man.
This one
everywhere.
This one cop looks like Omni-Man. On
Which one?
The one next to the
yeah.
Fantastical Force page, the panel right before it.
This is probably why. And again, like I'm gonna come off the bridges. Hey, like, dude, now there's like I'm adapting to it, and like I actually even think this issue is full of like really good stuff. But part of the reasons why like it was hard is again I just keep, and it's unfair, but I keep unfairly like comparing him to like Eric, and like you've seen these characters that I just associate with Eric's art, and like Nurse Ann Stevens looks so cute the way Eric draws her.
Yeah.
And bro, Vic has given her such a Mo haircut.
She always has had a Mo haircut. What are you talking about?
No,
but it's cute when Eric draws
I
it.
actually think Vic draws really attractive women, and that includes Anne and Phyllis here. I love the 80s hair.
You like their big jaws?
Oh my god.
You'd love Byrne.
Yeah, I think you'd love Byrne, dude. This looks like Byrne art. Jim just learned he loved Byrne.
I will say the Invisible Girl, whatever her actual name is, on
she's got a good name.
The splash page is a very
Transparent Trish.
Yep.
She has a very Byrne face. I will say that I can see.
These guys, the Fantastic Four stand-ins,
yeah,
they are pretty great.
Really, you like these guys, but not the previous like losers.
The throwaways, the goddamn literally named throwaways. No, I still hate the throwaways, but I think that these guys...
It is pretty funny though the issue before we get the throwaway Fantastic Four guys, and then we get the actual Fantastic Four doppelgangers here.
Right.
I don't know. They still really kind of suck. I mean, Super Patriot was probably going to beat him on his own.
True. But I'm just saying, seeing Mighty Man punch a guy with 4 heads.
Now, I will say Rushmore's a really good name, though.
Yeah, Rushmore's fantastic, dude. And each of the heads have different personalities. So good.
Right.
Dude. So good. That's what I'm saying is, like, these are so much better than just a bunch of, like, douchebags in purple and black leotards.
For the listeners, what do we got? We got Stretcho, the human sparkler, Rushmore, and transparent Tish, the fantastical force.
Mm-hmm. As subtle as a sledgehammer to the crotch.
But at least we get a decent villain at the end, though.
Yeah, dude, Absorbing Junior.
So this guy's... Okay, first of all, he actually has a really unique design.
He does, dude.
Like, from design alone is how I remember that we've seen him before. I actually forgot his name.
Dude, I want to tell you, his design is very John Byrne. Very John Byrne. With, like, the weird arms like that. That's definitely, like, how Byrne draws, like, beefy robots like that. It's weird. Even the boots and stuff.
You know what? That's awesome.
But he's got that like pitch black like body, and then just the mechanical arms and stuff. Mm-hmm. And but his powers like have nothing to do with like how he looks. He just absorbs your abilities by touching you. And so apparently he only turns up 2 more times. Well, 3 counting the next issue. And I guess he shows up in a Deadly Duo issue, which I guess I will get to one of these days. But anyway, the only reason I know him is because he shows up in that Zeke backup in 186.
Oh yeah, right.
And I guess that's also where he dies. So rip.
Did you guys notice that Vic's putting in the work, drawing Super Patriots like arm transformations?
He is trying. Yes,
I appreciate it.
Clack, click, clack.
Yeah, I'm just saying I really like, like I said, like Super Patriot's arms like out to the left and right, and then just converging in a bunch of tubes into the center.
And he's using them strategically to like grab ledges and step down to the street and other stuff. He doesn't have to be like super fancy like Johnson does. He just has to be utilitarian about it, and that's all you really need to, get some good Super Patriot stuff out of it.
Well, I also think, like, what's working for Bridges is, like, with his panel breaking, the weird, like, 3-dimensional panel breaking, he's getting, like that leg coming down off the bleed down into the panel. That's great. And, even that, like, panel on the top of the opposing left-hand page where, like, the water, Super Patriot, you can see him down through a hole in the floor that is up above him, and the water's like pouring down into the like from the top of the floor down cool. into. It's good, dude. I'm saying like Bridges is really stepping it the fuck up. So hell yeah, dude. Like that's the thing is, as I was reading this, I was just like, you know what? He's getting better, dude. Go listen. We're not gonna not talk about Absorbing Junior's facial hair.
His soul patch?
Yes, dude.
Oh,
the
right.
Hitler, the super Hitler.
Oh, right. That's right. He does have a Hitler mustache. Yeah. Are you sure that's not a shadow? Let me double check that.
No, dude. It's a stash.
It's
a total stash.
Not a good look.
It doesn't come off as crazy because he's got the soul patch that kind of matches. But
I hadn't noticed that, and now I can't stop seeing it.
Dude, look at
thank you, 90s hit. He's like 90s Hitler.
90s Hitler, dude. Look at it. It's like look at if you need to know it's a mustache, look at the very last page where, Mighty Man's wrists clack together.
Right.
And you can see there's the Hitler stash clear as day. What? Yeah, like these are strong. Like I'm just saying like Vic is just turning in like there's some stuff in here that's strong as hell. Like if you look at this like last page, Mighty Man revealed. That page is strong as a motherfucker, dude. It's flawless. So, yeah, it really, like, turned a fucking corner for me in this issue, guys.
I like the colors and everything with the wrist kind of snap on that last page, and then you see, like, the Mighty Man star in that center panel with the Doom. Mm-hmm. It's a cool touch.
Very cool colors on the Fantastical Force fight. Like the sparkler has some cool stuff, but if you look at like the little lightning effect when Super Patriot is shooting Rushmore in the chest, like there's a lot of work like in that coloring, you know what I mean? Like that's not drawn, like the colorist put that in there.
Yeah. It says here the colorist is Gloria Vasquez, and I've never heard of her.
It's good, dude. It's good. Like I said, this was for me like a 9 out of 10. Like issue. Like this was pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, I mean, you get the Super Patriot and Mighty Man in action, which is always a bonus, because honestly, you don't get as much of them as you'd like sometimes.
Yeah.
And you get some seeds of the future villainy, and you get a little bit of stuff with Dart and Rapture, but not as much, as you'd hope. But yeah, as far as like action issue, it's got a lot going on.
We didn't even talk about it either. Is that Eric actually drew the cover to this issue with Jerry Ordway.
Oh, that explains why it
which
looks so
cool
different.
Cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very
and
awesome.
Then we also get the epilogue, which I love in comics. You get that extra page after the letters.
So, yeah, I mean,
Craig, I love that dude.
This is... You can tell that Giffen is the layout guy on this, because Giffen does this... In this era, Giffen does this shit all the time, with the same shot slightly changed over and over. Mm-hmm. I will say this. This is where the drop shadows should have been dropped.
Yeah, because it created a very weird thing, right?
Yeah, you're putting the drop shadows on a black background.
So I didn't even realize it was. I just see like this weird, funky square, like white squares.
And that's the thing. It becomes funky squares instead of squares.
Funky squares. Guys, I would be remiss if I did not note in our letters. Well, hold on. Let me first say that, Craig, I totally agree. I love the page after the letters section.
Yep.
I love that. And Jim, didn't you say last time that that's like a Giffen trademark?
I mean, I just said it this time.
Okay, this time. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, because he did the same thing with the barbaric after credits thing.
Right.
Last time, where basically you just have the same shot, just either not change at all or change incrementally. I mean, Eric's good at that stuff too. Eric, I mean, the Fly story is all that.
Well, I meant just getting an extra page. Like, it felt like after the credits.
Yeah, because clearly this is leading to something. This is set up for something. Something from space is coming to Earth. What does it mean?
Yeah, and I love it. I love it, dude. I love having that element teased out. That's something that I would like to even see Dragon proper use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just you imagine you're reading an issue of Dragon, then you get past the letters, and like you're expecting to see the funnies, and instead you just see like a fucking page of like a rocket ship coming to Earth with no explanation. You'd be like, what? It's so good, dude. In the letters column, real quick, I just want to say that there's a letter hack that is very much stepping into his own unique voice. NZ Queeg. We got a regular Satiris Gravis with that one. Very, very unique letter writing style. And also, it's funny because I love reading these old ass issues and seeing finheads that I see active in the community now. Shout outs to B. Clay Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, talked to him yesterday. Here's his letter from all these years ago, 1994.
Wait, you talked to him yesterday?
I mean, just, on the forums, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like on the Facebook group.
Man, I miss not Birds of Prey, what am I saying? Birds of Paradise. Bird of Paradise.
I don't know. There's two guys. There's one on our forum, then there's the actual comic creator.
What, you think they're two different... Wait, you think they're two different people?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not saying that I think the sculptor wrote this letter. No.
The guy who writes Hawaiian Dick and
Hawaiian Dick,
Patriot and
B. Clay Moore.
Well, no, I'm not saying the writer. I'm saying I think this is the fan. Just so everyone knows, I don't think that. I'm saying I think this is the fan that interacts today on the Facebook group also wrote this letter.
Hold on.
I don't think so. I think this is the writer of the Image comics and a couple other comics.
Raven.
What?
Raven.
Yeah,
really?
I'm serious, Raven. There's a fan that's like something Claymore. There's a different fan. I swear.
So wait, you think this B. Clay Moore is like
the writer of Hawaiian Dick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else would it be? How many B. Claymores do you know?
Apparently 3.
What?
Okay. Well, all right. That makes it cooler in a different way. So this is a letter from like the writer of Hawaiian Dick.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
Because he's from Kansas too.
He's the guy who's going to grow up to become the writer of Hawaiian Dick in 10 years.
Right. Oh my. Well, that makes that even cooler to me. Cooler than what I thought.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you thought. Just some.
No, there's another guy with a similar name that's a Savage Dragon fan.
But they're not the same person on the Savage Dragon group, because
correct.
Okay, that's weird.
I guess he's not the Hawaiian Dick. He's like someone else.
That's okay. That was my confusion. That there would be somebody with the same name in that circle with the same name.
Yeah, it's very close.
Because it's perfectly logical to me that B. Claymore, the Image comic writer, would be in the Savage Dragon group, especially if he's writing letters in 1994.
I mean, it's just like, Olaf Beamer or Augie showing up, like they're writing letters in this and they're active in the Facebook group. That's all I thought, as I thought it was just another active fan. But it's cooler still that it's the writer of Hawaiian Dick.
I just checked the Facebook. I just Googled the name, and you're right. There is a B. Claymore, who is the comic writer, and there's a Claymore, who is not. That's fascinating.
There you go, dude. That's the whole thing. That was my confusion.
But Claymore is not B. Claymore. They are two different people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny because he's really shitting on that issue. he's really shitting on number 4. Gets a sigh. Eric writes a sigh in there. Oh, just saying, these letters are good, dude. These are funny as shit.
Wait, is that what he's complaining about? That he wrote the word sigh?
No. I'm saying that, B.
Oh, the response is the word sigh.
Right. He really shit on Freak Force 4. And then, Eric's like, sigh, honestly, Clay, I don't think we've become that predictable. It's pretty good. It's just funny. Good shit. And I love these just fans, man. It's no social graces. Eric Dragon is too cool for this book. He rocks in his own title. It's so
I can assure you, Dragon is not too cool for anything.
When you think about it, most of it is probably 14, 15-year-old kids.
Oh yeah,
right.
Voices cracking.
But the Byrne thing comes from this. Almost every letter is people saying Vic draws like Byrne. Vic draws like Byrne. Almost every letter, dude. Vic draws like Byrne. Vic draws like John Byrne. One guy says, Eric, I think Vic even draws better than you.
I mean, that's a good compliment.
Yeah. This is funny. I don't know. Just
I mean, it could just be see, some people didn't like what the Image guys were doing. They thought it was too weird. So when you get a book like this, it looks more traditional. They'd be more into it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Talking about where readers were in 1994, and it's funny how different this book is from everything else Image was doing.
Right.
And the readers reacted to it, apparently. They were like, hey, dude, this is not grim and gritty. This is fun. This is kind of a breath of fresh air. You see that sentiment over and over and over again. So.
Well, think about this. It's 1994. It's only 10 years since 84, and you've got this whole, this whole group of readers that still love John Byrne and follow that and still love those 80s comics. So 10 years is not that much, and so they're still enjoying, this different kind of take, like you said.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. There are way better ones going on, though, so we should look at these ads. Don't you like to look at the ads?
Oh, we do. We got to see where we are.
It's another bitchin' issue, guys. What did you expect?
Well, I expect face slashing.
I like the Fiend's clearly Spawn-esque costume.
I expect the name of the comic to be on the cover twice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And then we got the T-shirt ad. We're very familiar with that by now.
Yeah, that's been popping up a lot lately.
Guys, Cyberforce is back, but I got to ask you, where was it?
Well, that's a good question too. Although I have recently been acquiring many early Image books from dollar bins, and Cyberforce is one of them. Like pretty much every comic except Spawn, everything started out as a miniseries. So probably the miniseries concluded, and it just took a year to come back.
That makes perfect sense.
They didn't know how these comics were gonna fare, so they all started off with miniseries.
As best I can tell, Spawn and Youngblood. Wait, did Youngblood was a miniseries? No, Youngblood just kept going. But everything else was miniseries based. Dragon, Cyberforce, Wildcats, and oh
really? Wildcats was miniseries?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got both number ones.
One and only Wildcat.
So what happened to Youngblood? I guess is actually before we get there, Pitt's coming. Pitt number 5 in black and white.
I'm sorry, I got to say this before we leave Cyberforce, bros. I saw an e-girl on Twitter do a TikTok, using super speed dressed as Velocity.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, in the year 2021 of our Lord and Savior, there's a Velocity fan that loves Velocity enough to not just dress like them, but to use kind of I don't know how people do special effects and are not in TV and movies, but to use special effects to simulate super speed? What? I don't know. Just worth bringing up.
Velocity is the only character in Cyberforce I find memorable, so maybe there's something there.
You don't like Ripclaw?
Oh, God, no. Good God. Look at him.
I feel like we talk about Stryker every 4 episodes.
Is that gun guy's name?
Multiple arms on one side?
Who's not Psylocke?
You're mean.
I am mean. I call it how it is. I call my shots. I'm not afraid to say Super Patriot is a Captain America knockoff, but cooler.
No, Velocity is awesome, though. You're right. And I think she's got a great look, too.
Apparently, she joins Youngblood at some point. I gotta figure out what that's about, which is weird.
Hey, Jim, you've been reading Pit more. Are you into the Pit?
No, I haven't read it yet. I've got issue 1 and I've got issue 3, so I gotta fill in more to actually get the gumption up to read it.
Got it. Okay.
I didn't realize Vanguard was still going on at this point. Because I feel like we reviewed it a long time ago.
It's too gosh darned perfect.
Gosh darn.
Bros, how do you like this What's Happened to Youngblood with the silhouette of clearly Troll, Die Hard, and
Bowl cut?
Bandana guy? I don't know.
Oh, Grifter, right? No, that's Wildcats. Never mind.
I just read that whole image, that whole awesome apocalypse, and I still don't remember that guy's name. And he was the murderer.
So is Team Youngblood a replacement book because Youngblood went on hiatus or something?
Basically,
that's what this picture in a vacuum implies to me.
Yeah, it was a shakeup. That's all. Rob had 50 billion Youngblood characters.
He sure does. I've bought a lot of them.
Was Team Youngblood
and
the one that
never
Jay Lee drew?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I know Bad Rock and Company was not Todd Knock. I don't know who did Team Youngblood.
Oh wait, Jay Lee was Youngblood Strike File with
oh yeah,
Chapel.
And then lastly, Eric Larson presents the Savage Dragon Sculpture.
Well, here's the other Claymore, or in this case, Clayburn Moore. A lot of Claymores out there.
Uh-huh. It's a veritable minefield of Claymores, right?
Mm.
But, yeah, dude, you know him, you love him, you want to own one of him.
Limited edition of, I wonder how many of these still exist with their fin intact, because apparently they are very prone to breaking.
Send check or money order in U.S. funds.
Exactly. To Savage Dragon Sculpture, P.O. Box.
And then pray and hope that you get it in 6 to 8 weeks.
Only $150. I mean, a statue like that would cost a lot more these days.
Oh yeah, dude. It's funny and it's 9 inches tall. Thing's fucking huge.
Of course, these days you could crank something like this out in a PVC.
Yeah,
a lot cheaper.
Resin cast that bitch. Rotoscope it.
So crazy thing, we got another issue to talk about.
Yeah, a good one, dude. This is good. Like, this is what I'm saying, is to me, these Freak Forces were just fucking back-to-back kick-ass action. And I love cover text, guys.
Yeah, it's great. I love cover text as well. It'd be better if there was a speech balloon, but I'll take it.
Yeah, oh, totally agree. The clacking the wrist together, and we get to see another, like, when you flip it open, like another super patriot just shocked. Mighty Man, is that you? And then Ann decides
it's
to
just
try
a
out
continuation from 5. So if you flip 5 to 6, it's like just the reverse image, I guess.
Right. But
Oh, it's been
Oh, no,
redrawn.
it's the same
No, it's been redrawn.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because there's reflections in his eyes and everything.
Anne is shockingly calm about all this.
Well, yeah.
Well, this was huge, man. This issue. I mean, when we're finding out for the first time, think about like the readers reading Savage Dry, and it's like, fuck, what?
Right. You know, and again, like, I got to give it to Vic. Like, this double page spread is fucking awesome.
Except for the lady's face behind Super Patriot. Like, what's going on?
It looks more grisly, right? It doesn't look like she's dead, like decapitated.
Yeah, like a severed head.
Yeah, just like fucking a dead person behind him. Jim, how do you like that Super Hitler?
Oh, now it's really obvious now that you pointed it out, and I can't imagine it's just a weird shadow. He has a very long nose. That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I think you were talking about how Vic draws women. I think this Anne looks great.
Oh yeah, Anne looks really good here. She looks a lot worse when you just flip the page and she gets the square jaw. Super Patriot really should have been, I think, thinking what he is saying here.
Yeah, I wrote that down as a note too. If this was a newer, more modern comic, it would be Thought Bubbles.
Right, because again, this is not the kind of thing you want fucking Absorbing Junior to know.
See, that's sort of what I would say is like the one plot hole in all of this, is that Absorbing Junior knows who she is now.
Fuck yeah, he does. Thanks to goddamn Blabberjaw down there on the ground.
And that's never really addressed. I thought maybe him getting whacked in the back of the head was like the explanation. Amnesia, but it's never like brought up.
While you bringing
why do you guys think that Thought Bubbles just went away in the 90s? Like, people were just done with it.
I blame Alan Moore.
I mean, the thing is they had that whole weird thing where they tried to like have no sound effects for a while. Like, I forget, the Authority had no sound effects, and it was like, guys, like, you're not too good for sound effects. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, there was just
they don't want the Adam West Batman look on their super serious comic book.
I honestly think that's what it was, Jim. I really do think it was an attempt to distance themselves from what they perceived to be their hokey past, and to me, it was a huge mistake. Like,
do you think getting rid of Thought Bubbles, though, was more like trying to make it more movie-like?
Yes.
Well,
oh yes.
It's kind of weird because here's the thing. Typically, if you're getting rid of Thought Bubbles, you're replacing them with captions. But there are no captions in these comics. So, instead, everyone talks their thoughts out loud.
Which is terrible. Because it doesn't always work. I mean, people talk to themselves, but, like, at the same time, like, you know, this instance of Super Patriot being on the ground saying everything that he should be thinking is a perfect example of there's no way in fuck that he would really want Absorbing Junior to know Anne's identity. Like, he knows her name. He knows that she's a nurse. Like, he knows that fucking Anne is Mighty Man. Like, Absorbing Junior knows way the fuck too much. And also, too, there's the whole timing element. Like, he's talking. He's taking the time to say all these things.
I mean, that's comics. People have whole conversations while jumping through the air.
But I'm saying that, like, if you're a good comic artist, you're aware of that, though. You don't have the famous example is Ripclaw jumping from a tree and speaking a paragraph before he hits the ground.
Right.
It's like, you don't do that.
I mean, I mean, to break kayfabe, I just assume they started talking before we actually see them. The talking has been going on for some time.
You shouldn't, as a creator, you shouldn't make the audience do that work for you. You should consider it, is what I'm saying. Like, if he was thinking, it would have fixed everything.
Right.
Because it could have had an instant realization. Like, that's what I said, his thoughts are instant. Like, whereas dialogue needs to be spoken.
Although it's, you know what? So here's the thing. Well, that's not true. See, I was going to say, you needed this info dump, because if you haven't been reading Savage Dragon, do you know who Nurse Ann Stevens is? But Anne has been in this book as Phyllis's roommate, where they've been basing their base out of. So you don't really need to explain who Anne is, because we've known Anne for 6 issues.
Right. Let me say real quick too, just some one thing I love and one thing I'm going to goof on. When Anne is in the trash,
that's such a good look.
The daisy on her hip with the perspective on it, that's really good. But then on the opposite page, Absorbing Jr. gets hit in the back of the head. There are bells drawn around his head, but you have tweet, tweet, tweet as the sound effect.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, I hope someone got fired for that.
You know? So that's kind of dumb shit that I just can't not notice. Also, does Anne just take her skirt off?
Yeah, when you get into a fight, you rip your skirt off from around your knees so that you can run.
Absorbing Jr. is knocked out, Jim.
Yes.
At this point, she just wants to show her legs.
I do.
Yeah, you're right. She is wearing like a unitard.
Right.
Weird.
It's fine. I like it. I think she looks cooler without the skirt, but it's funny.
At first, when I reread this, I just forgot about the scene, and it makes perfect sense. And I feel like it's something you don't usually see in comics, but it was something new to me, where he absorbed her kind of weakened, state as like a normal human.
Eric confirms in the letters column that Absorbing Jr. Absorbs the power of whoever he is physically in contact with.
Right. It's not
not like the absorbing man.
Parasite. He's not like Parasite from Superman.
No, I mean it's not like he doesn't have control over it. It's literally whatever he's touching.
Right.
Like it's non-voluntary.
Like if he touched a pile of shit, he'd have the power of a pile of shit, you know what I'm saying? So here, like, even though he says I've still got enough power left over to kill you, like clearly, like when Anne just knocks him out with a fucking rock, like clearly he's like a wimp.
Well, that's because she specifically touches his hand and gives him the powers of a 120-pound woman.
Right.
Yeah, in my head I assumed like if he's not touching someone,
Well, it sounds like it.
I just assumed his power was always that of him, what he was, like this giant guy, and he would just get more strong, not that he would get weaker.
Well,
which is a pretty
what
cool.
he says here, when he says I still have residual power, it suggests that once he lets go, it gradually fades over time.
Right.
Until he's back to his baseline, of which then can be altered by what he touches.
I think what you're saying, Craig, is that he's got big fucking arms, so you'd think he'd be strong, but he's like just not strong by default.
Yeah, I just didn't assume. I in my head, I just wasn't thinking he could get weaker. I thought he could only get stronger.
Like, is it implied he's a Johnny Redbeard creation?
He says it at one point, doesn't he?
I can't remember.
Yeah, at one point.
He says the Fantastical Forces, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Right.
They're a Johnny Redbeard reject.
So, Nurse Stevens' sequence here, where she gets the powers, I had never actually seen this rendered out. Like, this was something that was just like, they talked about in Dragon or whatever. And then you got fucking Grandpa, and he starts, like, being shitty. And like, it's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Billy
reading this stuff was great.
Yeah, Billy sucks so much. I'm actually really glad. Remember when he came back and he did the Mighty Man backup stuff, and we get to see how much of a little shit he actually is.
It's good,
right?
And it's always funny because he's short and like dresses like Billy Batson, but he's the world's shittiest shit. Did we cover this? Yeah, we did. Remember not a long time ago, but remember when we a while back in the back of an issue of Savage Dragon, they reprinted a Mighty Man story from Big Bang Comics.
Okay.
And there was a story in there about why Billy Batson was late getting to his grandfather, and apparently it's a whole time travel thing that Mighty Man, either Mighty Man or his opposite caused. And I always thought that was an interesting wrinkle in the whole thing.
Cool.
That was the one that looked like very Jim Starlin.
Very Jim Starlin looking guy, yeah. Like he goes back in time and causes a bus accident, and that like changes his future, but restores Mighty Man's. Something like that. It was a while ago.
Fake out. He seems like he's real upset, and he's just like, Grandpa, oh God, he's dead. You stinking fossil. So good. It's good, dude. And slipping in the milk.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, who slips like that?
It's just like throwing yourself forward, like, I think I'll break my neck.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, dude. Just goddamn.
This is a complete front flip, like a cartoon.
She's gonna fucking eat shit and die. Crazy for a nurse to be so reckless. And you know what's funny too? Talking about, like I said, I like Vic's like art more and more on these. I don't think I've ever seen Mighty Man squat. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because it's like, I think it really sells like this is like Anne like coming to terms with being Mighty Man. It's good,
well,
dude.
I love this scene. It's like, you know, she doesn't know how to switch back. She doesn't know what happened. She's all freaked out, so she's just kind of held up inside her house. They're just freaking out as like Mighty Man.
Yeah, dude.
It's a great little scene.
It is great. Like, this whole sequence is fucking great. Although it is hilarious that Anne thought she needed to, like, pour the milk out as she just retraced her steps.
Maybe that's the trick. Maybe we got to pour milk out and slip in order to become Mighty Man.
That's it, you know? Shazoom!
Gotta eat shit. That's how you become Mighty Man.
Yeah, if you're not about to break your neck from a slip, then you're not going to become Mighty Man.
That's how Bobby Byrne did it. He just jumped in front of cars.
I think, I will say that I think Vic is working on his women. I think they look a lot more natural in this issue. Like, a lot. Like, all of them look a lot more natural. Although, Horridus, on the flip side of the coin, we get some incredibly oogie Horridus in this issue.
Yes.
Like, wacky, dude.
So right off the bat, I find it interesting that Anne just reveals her identity to the entire crew, including Chelsea.
Didn't you feel kind of like Super Patriot, like, forced the issue?
That's definitely what it feels like, yeah.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have, like, probably wanted to do it, you know what I mean? But she's on this team, so they need to know.
Yeah, but Chelsea's a secretary.
Well, they're clearly very bad at their job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell the soup secretary. Oh, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. Bro, I am sorry, but, like, there's a point where they're kissing the secretary's ass. Hold on here. Where they're kissing Chelsea's ass. Get a load of this dialogue. Tell me this isn't the most made up about computers phrase ever. Chelsea goes, "Excuse me, I've reprogrammed the computer for instant file access and automatic program duplication. Is there anything else before I head home?" Meaningless. Means nothing. What did you really do, Chelsea? Instant file access? Doesn't anyone
She backed up the servers.
Yeah, basically she created a back door that she could hack in at any time.
Instant file access, dude. Nah, it's just funny.
They don't know what she's talking about. They're just like, yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Rapture looks at her and goes, "I used to turn tricks."
I was a whore.
No, dude, it is, I guess, like, Super Patriot is kind of like, bros, we got a situation, like, this goddamn nurse is Mighty Man, and they're like, well, I don't know, they don't seem too bothered by it. Dart is, like, kind of showing awesome leadership, by just immediately being like, let's go train?
I don't know. I think they're all being kind of shitty to her, considering she's been doing this for a couple of months just fine. I mean, it's nice that they want to help her, but they make it sound like she's a rank amateur. And I mean, she's inexperienced. She's inexperienced, but she's held her own so far. She's fine.
Yeah, but I think that whole time they just thought that she was like whatever, Bobby Byrne that had all this experience, and now you're like, oh shit, wait, it's just some like rando nurse.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I feel so comfortable about this.
You're idiots. That's your fault.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine like the big gun on your team, like Mighty Man, like it's basically like Shazam. Imagine that like you just learn that Shazam is just like a dope.
Well, think about it. Shazam. Thank you, Raven. Captain Marvel is just a kid. So when you find out that, do you just start not respecting him?
Yeah. Fuck kids.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm sorry. You'd be a liar. You're a liar, dude. If you said that, like, you learned that, like, your super-powered, like, strong lightning god guy was just a kid, that you would not be a little shook up. You'd be shook up. Come on. Tell the truth for once in your life, Purcell.
I don't know. It really
You'd be okay with it.
It really depends how much I am aware of Captain Marvel's deeds.
No, I've got a perfect example. Imagine, Jim, a mysterious benefactor agrees to pay your rent. Convinces you, we'll say.
Okay.
They're going to pay your rent for like 2 years. And you let them. And then one day you go outside and there's this little kid playing with a ball by your car. And you're like, hey, stupid little kid, get away from my car. I'm about to drive. And they go, I'm your benefactor, Jim.
I mean, did the checks cash?
Then
I'm golden.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, dude. You'd be weirded out. Anyway, Rapture's origin was incredibly surprising to me. I was really not prepared for this at all.
Did you expect to get 2 origins for the price of 1?
I did not.
It just seems to get thrown in there. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We're going this way now?
Yeah. Just like, here it is. Like, boom. Oh, you wanted... And that was the thing is, like, okay, obviously Mighty Man's secret revealed right on the cover. So I'm like, oh, cool. I get to see this sequence play out. Oh, P.S. Fucking here's Rapture's origin, too. What the hell? Like,
so,
what?
I'm actually pissed off.
Oh?
That we never see this cool skeleton version of Rapture again.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Why hasn't Malcolm gone all skeleton?
I know, dude. Took the words right out of my mouth. It's like, are you kidding me?
He should have went all skeleton when he bopped Thor last issue.
Yes, he should have.
It's weird because I just kind of finished flipping through that Geiger comic.
Yeah.
And it's very, very same effects, kind of. With the skeleton kind of coming through the full body.
Yep.
It's awesome. And I agree with you, Jim.
I
would love to see this.
I never knew this origin story at all. I just assumed she had powers.
Me too.
Which is...
Yeah, because Dr. Nirvana just experimenting on her. So she's tied in with Mighty Man's whole thing.
And I guess he was trying to create lightning powers because Mighty Man has lightning stuff going on.
Right. Well, that's what he said. He wanted to turn around and give himself powers if it worked. Bro, listen. All right, I'm glad we're talking about this. Listen, okay. Things that Savage Dragon never bothered to fuck with that I would love to see explored. To learn that there is a connection between Rapture's powers and Mighty Man's powers.
Yeah.
It's never touched on.
Why is that never touched on with Malcolm? Does he have a piece of Mighty Man in him?
Right. Like, it seems huge, right? Like, doesn't it seem huge?
Yeah, I mean, is it actually tied in with the Mighty Man powers, though? Or is it just an experiment by Dr.
Yeah,
Nirvana?
He's trying to duplicate his powers, but he wound up creating lightning powers instead.
Right.
But it's not like he's siphoning something from Mighty Man to make...
He's just trying to duplicate them and make a fake Mighty Man.
But I'm just saying, however flimsy the connection, like, it's still there.
But then it's weird. why is her power passed on?
Well,
Genetically, right?
that was my question too, because it's a little weird with Eric's like genetics as a rule anyway, but it seems to be implied that powers you gain can be passed on. It's like, what can't be passed on? So basically Rapture could be negated because she wasn't born with her powers.
Correct, but Malcolm probably couldn't because he was born with his powers.
But no, because he has lost his lightning powers before by being negated.
Oh, you're right.
He loses his,
you're right.
He loses his lightning and his super aim primarily when he gets negated. He's still strong, but he's not regenerative. So he had to get those back through blood transfusion. So those are powers. So I guess that was the clue that these are not natural powers, they are additive powers.
Thank you. That actually makes the fact that Malcolm loses his lightning powers when he's negated actually make more sense.
Right, because if she was just a mutant who had lightning powers and passed them on, like for example, I don't think you can negate Angel or Jennifer because those are mutant powers.
Yeah,
they're like gods. They would have been born with them.
Right.
I don't know. It's a little screwy. I'm sure it hasn't been thought that deeply.
It makes sense.
But tying Rapture into this makes Chelsea Nirvana even a better villain for Freak Force.
Yeah, you actually see her react to this because she's snooping, and it seems like she's reacting because because it's tied in with her father. So I don't know if she's looking for like an angle on it, like a manipulation or like a way to duplicate Rapture's powers or what, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know what she's thinking.
She's just pissed because she finds out that Rapture's...
Is that a piss? Is that a pissed face or is that an excited face?
Looks pissed to me. Fists shaking.
Yeah, I took it as pissed, like that she caused her father's...
Oh, that's right. She was the one who put his father in the coma.
Right.
So, yeah, that's pissed because she's the one who put her father in the coma.
Right.
Although, considering Chelsea goes and beats him up, I think that she'd be happy about that, but who fucking knows? Her screwy mind.
Yeah. I also like the dialogue. I think Hortus has got really great dialogue there, even though, it's on brand, but also it's just funny.
So, you're right about Hortus looking funky, but at the same time, she looks fine in everything except straight-on shots.
Right.
She looks great in profile. She looks great in 3/4. In fact, she actually looks good on the 5th panel of the scene with Hortus and Rapture. She's almost like Frank Fosco-esque with her like jaw there.
Well, I was gonna say Frank brings in the big lips.
Does he?
During his TMNT run, he has Hortus with the big lips, and I swear I don't think Eric really draws her that way.
Oh, absolutely not.
I think Eric gives her more like a beak.
I think he also avoids this angle for that reason.
Well, yeah, she's going to be weird looking. What's funny is it's not that Hortus looks like she wouldn't look. It's just she doesn't look cool because it's a straight-on shot.
But, like, she wouldn't... I mean, she's never drawn with lips. She's got, like, a beak. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. It's all kinds of... But then, like, what's funny is that that's that Vic Bridges touch, baby. Like, he's still shaking off some of the oog factor.
Yeah.
Like, the very last panel looks like Mighty Man's here to stay. Everything's drawn awesome about that except for Mighty Man's mouth.
I don't know. He's got that little, like, goofy grin.
I know, but it's like a Todd McFarlane goofy grin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Mighty Man's a goofy guy. Maybe.
Those polka dot pants are fucking goofy.
Oh, yeah.
How about those
also, her ass is very long.
Well,
no,
it's just
waist-high
style
jeans.
pants. Yeah.
Waist highs instead of, like, hip huggers. And then, let me ask you, bros. Is this Ant the spaceship?
From last issue, yeah. It crashed in the Amazon.
I thought it was. I just wanted to check.
Something's going on.
It is apparently decided that the optimal life form on Earth is this fucking ant.
Yeah, and it replicates it.
It roblicates it.
So, one cool thing Eric does in this issue, in the letters pages, is that he reprints, like, a whole bunch of, like, relevant panels to the and Stevens' Mighty Man mystery. So those who, for some odd reason, wouldn't have been reading Savage Dragon can be can find out all of the clues.
I loved it. I loved that he included these, like, all these panels that sort of like hip you in on things. I love that it's just all here for you. It's crazy what a big reveal this was, and he just let it happen in this other book.
Yeah.
He says 10 years in the making.
I think he did it on purpose just to give Freak Force the rub.
I swear to God, dude, like how that's kind of like how Eric for Image 10th Anniversary, like, gave Dragon's origin to it. It always feels like he's got an ace in the hole to, like, help things, like, be important. You know what I mean? What are you guys' feelings on Capeless Mighty Man?
Wait a minute.
On the create a character contest?
Yeah, the create a character. Mighty Man, the Eric.
Which is pretty cool. It's like full circle. Like he entered a Marvel one.
Wait,
yeah, it inspired
using Mighty Man.
So that's what that is. That's Eric's drawing.
Yeah, those are Eric's drawings.
Wait, were these ones that were destroyed in the fire?
I would imagine, yeah.
Because the fire hasn't happened yet, right?
I thought it already happened.
I thought so too.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah.
I would imagine these are gone, but, like, the thing is that, like, he talks about the character contest that that Marvel did that inspired the Jimbo contest. And this is the picture of Mighty Man. Like, just think how shitty it would have been if Marvel was like, yeah, cool, we'll take this Mighty Man.
We'll take this Captain Marvel. We'll just take it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that Eric almost gave Marvel Mighty Man, Horridus, and Super Patriot. Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Also, I would have...
I don't think Marvel wouldn't have never taken Mighty Man just because of the Shazam factor, the Captain Marvel.
They already got
Shazam
a
factor.
perfectly good Captain Marvel and Warlock and everyone else with a lightning bolt on their chest.
There is a letter that I simply must read, and I will read it as quick as possible. But what a doozy this letter is. I'll go so fast, I promise you.
All right.
Dear Freak Force, I would like to said you guys have a hit on your hand, and Victor Bridges and inker Mike Miller doing a good job. And in issue 4, guest star Vanguard and the rest of the team. I Like Dart, Mighty Man, Rapture, Ricochet, Super Patriot, Barbaric. Is Super Patriot going to leave Freak Force and replace him? Is the Savage Dragon, and I like to see him join the Freak Force and Megaton, new suit, and Ultra Girl, and introducing Asian male martial arts with Telstaff, throwing stars, lasso, smoke bomb, stunt gun, shield. Call the Vigilante or Dark Justice. He Rider, a Yamaha YZF 600, and Spotlight on Rapture. She looked like a hooker, but give her new suit and new look. And give Ricochet a boyfriend, young African-American male. Same age as Ricochet. Let's see some story on gang members, KKK, rapes, child beating, drug war, drive-by shooting. Marty Livesey, Los Angeles, California. P.S. Please send me new subscription sheet with Freak Force and Spawn, Savage Dragon, The Pack, Youngblood, Pigeon 13, Deathblow, Shadowhawk. How about new Freak Force poster drawn by Keith Giffen, artist Vic Bridges, and inker Mike Miller, with new team members Megaton, Ultra Girl, new Vigilante or Dark Justice. Do you have any iron on?
Wow.
To which the reply is, we couldn't make up letters like this if we tried. What the fuck? You have to read it. I tried to, pause and do run-on sentences as much as I can, but you have, dear listener, if you have Freak Force number 6, you have to read that letter. It's off the goddamn wall. Craig, he also confirms that Absorbing Jr. was visually a parody of John Byrne.
Oh, another one?
Yep, says Byrne's used that same starfish-shaped body so many times I've gotten sick of it. Says the letter writer. Yeah. Eric says at this point in time, at least, that all the Byrne parody stuff was gentle ribbing, and that he likes John Byrne. Apparently, like, Frank Miller was a huger influence than what I thought, which, you know, you think about, like, the talking TV newscaster heads, like, makes total sense. And a lot of people tried to guess the Mighty Man, like, reveal. Some people got it 100% perfect, and some people were fucking 100% wrong. It's fucking awesome to read, like, how close some people were and how entirely wrong other people were. Yeah, man, it's cool to see Eric talking about the Gary Carlson's 1940s comic, Big Bang Comics. Like, there's just so much good shit in here, dude. Read these letters, my dudes. Like, it's a real time capsule.
So we get one final post letters scene. Mm-hmm. Where we see Dragon and Absorbing Jr. So this is, you know, funny, but it doesn't really deal with the problem of Absorbing Jr. knowing who Ann Stevens is.
Right.
Which you'd think there would have been just like an offhand mention of that. I can't remember anything that happened after I got hit in the head or something. But no, it's just posturing.
It's also funny to note, you think about in these early days, they didn't have Stronghold Penitentiary.
That's
so, you
true.
know, just like they just threw Vanguard and Vanguard in like the Chicago PD basement, I guess.
In fact, this is the same gear Vanguard was put in.
Right.
It's got all those it's got all the Dave Johnson tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this Ultimate Character Creating Contest runners-up?
So we've been reading these issues right along. I don't remember the contest being mentioned anywhere. Did I forget?
Yeah, it definitely was. I forget which issue.
But
I feel like it was, at least.
So, yeah, this is a bunch of like runner-up characters for that contest. Because, of course, the Jimbo issue is coming up in Savage Dragon with the winner. And I didn't realize that there were more contest runner-ups in the Freak Force issue, as well as some of the upcoming Dragon issues. So what do you think of some of these designs?
Pretty cool, actually.
Really?
I mean, I'm glad Jimbo won, but like compared to some of the stuff that ran in Dragon, I was like, oh, well, in the right hands, these could be solid characters.
Honestly, of these ones, the only one I think is any really good is Hybrid. The rest all seem a little derivative or goofy.
Derivative. You talking about Red Colossus?
Well, we got Red Colossus and we got Starfire. What else we got here? We got Shang Tsung.
Craig, no love, no help, no.
I think they're okay. I think the guys in this issue are better than what we saw in the others.
That's true. I think these are some of the better ones. This love-hate guy actually reminds me of the red and white guy from recent Dragon. I forget
Torment?
what his Torment. Yes.
I think you got a pretty bold. Like, he's the worst easily. Like, and the other guy's clearly a Spawn ripoff. But like, love hate, but then a big peace belt buckle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! So yeah, and then this time we get the. Did you guys say this was a parody of Daredevil? If you haven't seen the
Daredevil ad.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Dragon lately, you're a dork. It's good. This is the second or third time we've seen that now, right?
Yeah, I think it's just filler when they don't have anything else to run.
And then back cover goes to the sculpture one more time.
Got to push that sculpture.
Craig, do you have the sculpture?
I do not. I'm not a fan of it.
Ooh, hot take.
I mean, the Finn's wrong, so I'm not a fan of it either.
I mean, it looked good back in the day. It didn't age well, but I'm not a fan really of statues anyway. So
action figures are way cooler.
Yeah, posability, bro. Yeah, so what do you guys
for the price?
How you guys feeling about? Well, hold on, we got the two perspectives, and I like to hear them. Craig, what you think about this shit when you read it back in the day?
I don't think I read this when they came out. I think I was already done collecting. I definitely bought all the back issues like at one time when I got back into it. Mm-hmm. They used to sell them on SavageDragon.com and stuff like that.
So you learned that Mighty Man was Ann Stevens in Dragon?
No, I think I can't remember when I got back into it if I read these first or flipped through them. I can't remember, honestly, when I made that connection. But I definitely have read these for a long time, and rereading them is a lot I forgot. And I don't know, like you were feeling better about Freak Force, and I was feeling a little worse about Freak Force after reading these issues in a way. Because I felt like there was like Rapture's thing. I forgot that it happened like right after Mighty Man's reveal. Like Rapture just goes into this, and I felt like, I don't know, it was just a weird kind of side thing. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it just felt weird, like an afterthought.
Well, this issue doesn't have a lot of action to it, so I can kind of see that. It's a lot of like talking and explaining and recapping. So I can kind of see that, how you might not like this issue.
Well, to me, what worked about it was that it's like, okay, on the cover, Mighty Man is going to have his shit revealed, and in fact, they do it on the second page, right? Like, there's Ann. So it's kind of like, well, that's not the big reveal of the issue, that's the beginning of the issue. And so it's kind of neat to me in that you, without much fanfare, you just sort of like, oh shit, and by the way, Rapture has ties to Mighty Man through Dr. Nirvana. You got fucking Chelsea Nirvana, right there. Like, it's actually stitching together for me. Things are kind of starting to, like I said, like gel. Like, they're starting to come together. So it didn't quite feel so much as throwaway as that was sort of like your curveball reveal, you know what I mean? Or that's just how I felt anyway. But I get where you would feel different, like, because it did sort of just like, all P.S. She's just sitting on a bed talking to Hortus. There wasn't any kind of like big shocking kind of thing,
Right. It was pretty funny how Rapture is like pouring her heart out and Hortus doesn't get it.
Yeah, simpleton.
Because it's Hortus.
Right.
Probably the worst Savage Dragon character, if I'm honest.
My parents thought I was a demon. The worst Savage Dragon character. You gonna say that with Bubble Boy alive?
I mean, to be fair, Bubble Boy is supposed to be a joke.
Get out of town.
Hortus is supposed to be a character, but I've never liked her character. The best I ever liked her was when she got married to Rex and had a kid, and it felt like she was finally like evolving. But then we haven't seen her in freaking forever.
That's the thing with the character. I feel like it would have been cool if over time she evolved and wasn't a dumbass.
And that seems to have been what was happening once she married to Rex and became a mother. But then we didn't see her forever, so then it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it is kind of like, I was literally thinking about that kid today. Like, I always read like the night before in prep. And like, I was just thinking, I was like, where is Daisy?
Where is Daisy indeed?
Where is that goddamn kid, dude? It's been too long.
Why isn't she here making out with Maxine and the Janney twins right now?
How old would she be at this point?
Probably like a young adult or an older teen.
I mean, like 10 or 11, right?
Man, would she be that young? Because
at least
last time I saw her, I could have sworn she was like 5, maybe 3.
Oh, she was 5?
Maybe she was still a toddler. I mean, she's half demon, half quarter space alien. She could look like anything at this point.
It is honestly though just crazy that like Daisy has not shown up at all. Like we've seen Freak Force several times and we've not heard hide nor hair of Daisy. It's just like, what?
Yeah, Hortus's post Savage World character is kind of just there. She'd had a backup where she fell in love with Powerhouse, but then the Rex stuff happened, and then we just never saw her again.
I get what you're saying.
She is my probably least favorite recurring Savage Dragon character, at least from the early days.
I like her because she's a unique visual. and I like her because she's also got a unique voice to go with that.
Okay.
So, like, definitely, like, identity-wise, strong as hell.
I mean, I get it. I mean, she's inexperienced and naive, but it never really gets played up properly. It's always just she comes across as, like, clueless and a dumbass, which is just not very endearing to me.
Yeah. I guess.
Because, because she, like I said, as far as I know, as far as I recall, her character never evolves past that during the original Image Universe run.
How smart do you want her to get? Like,
I mean, like, functioning adult would be fine.
Like, do you want her, like, verbal pattern to change?
So the daughter's name is Dixie.
Dixie. Yeah, that sounded wrong.
I said Daisy. I was thinking of Vic's art. So get off my sack.
First appearance is Savage Dragon 140.
Damn. That is over 100 issues ago.
So she'd be 14?
So maybe not that old.
Yeah, but still, though, she's like a teenager, though. There's a lot you could do with her, dude. She could be like a genius because of her dad.
I mean, where's Anne's kid, too? I mean, she's got to be in, like, 12 or something by now.
She's Mighty Man, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She's hanging out with Super Patriot, getting taught how to murder people. We have seen her recently.
She's getting killing lessons. He, like, sold from an old soldier. He's like, well, you just got to turn your feelings off. Like we did in Nam. If I make no one else laugh but me, I feel good. At any rate, you goddamn wet blanket motherfuckers, you. It has been a blast. I'm coming around. So we got the Craig perspective. Jim, like, where you at? Where you feel? How you feeling as a first-time reader?
I'm splitting the difference between the both of you. I'm actually really enjoying it, but I agree with Craig that this last issue, while on the surface seems like a good issue, is actually a bit shit.
Really?
Well, okay, that was a bit harsh, but it does on the second read, it does lack a little something because it is all either recaps or origin story or basically the absorbing junior fight didn't last very long, I guess is the bottom line. But it all looked very good. I really like Vic Bridges' art, and I think it is going to lead somewhere. So, it'll get there.
Just to tie it together, you would also like John Byrne's art.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
No, you would. Like, if you like Vic Bridges' art, you would like John Byrne.
Okay, so this is going to be really hard to explain.
Uh-huh.
The fact that Bridges' art is vaguely Byrne-esque, but is not, I guess, as refined as Byrne, makes it better.
I get it. More endearing.
It's just, I don't know, it seems more honest.
Honest.
Like, at this point in history, Byrne is an old hand, so he is churning this shit out. And Vic is still new, so he's still learning. So we're seeing Vic learn. Whereas very soon here, Byrne is going to kind of stop learning and start unlearning.
You say Byrne's going to start unlearning?
His latest work is is awful, like really bad.
Really?
And at some point,
But do you think that's just part of like an artist's eyes going or something?
No, I don't
Could be.
believe that's the case because you guys got like Eric who just spends his entire life improving. Like, if you're a great artist, you just improve your entire life. And I'm sure Byrne thinks he's improved, but I think anybody who is a fan of Byrne, like in this period, would say his current stuff is inferior by leaps and bounds. It's not like Eric that has simplified things, but is still like really doing crazy things. Byrne just doesn't evolve.
He's regressed, in your opinion.
Yeah. From what I have seen, it is a lot worse. It was a lot worse in the early 2000s. It was a lot worse in the late 90s when he was doing like freaking Namor at Marvel. I think that stuff looked like real shit, but I think that also had a lot to do with how the coloring was done.
I know this isn't related to anything, so I'm sorry. This is going to sound very out of left field, but in the letters column, Eric says, Super Patriot was born in 1923. He is 71 this year. Quick quiz, do you guys know how old Super Patriot is this year in 2021?
He's going to be 100. Eric's talked about that.
He is 90. He is 98.
This was a good question, but unfortunately it's been talked about.
He's 98. He's not 100. We got 2 more years.
What? It's 94 plus 21.
1923.
Sorry, 31. No, 21. No, 31.
23. 1923.
No, I was right the
There's
first.
a 98-year difference between 1923 and.
Oh, right. Sorry, it's 21 plus 6, so it's actually 27. So 27 plus 71 is 97. I guess you're right. I guess he is 98.
Yeah, just say 2021
Why do I
minus
think
1923.
that,
He's 98. 2 more
Why
years.
did I think it was this year?
Sorry,
what?
Craig got covered up.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why did I think it was this year?
Because we talked about it
Is
recently.
it a different date?
Maybe Eric's got future plans that he just wanted to test the waters on.
Because on the wiki it says his date of birth is 7/4/21.
Oh,
21? Well, he would be 100 then.
Yeah.
But in the letters column, Eric says he's born in 1923.
well, maybe it got adjusted at some point.
Well, no, I'm going to say that this was right and that he's just fucked up. The wiki's wrong, not the letters
Well,
column.
look at he did character profiles in one of the
It's
issues.
a well-known fact that letters column are the least canonical of all extemporaneous materials.
True. Well, then it would make him 100. Okay. Well, hey, we lost 2 years. Sorry, big guy. This must have been the Kirkman years. They got retconned out or something. All right. Well, never mind. I thought that was cool, but it turned out to be dog shit. Ruined by the wiki.
Wah, wah.
Just like the Savage Dragon Companion book 2.
Honk.
I think we should wrap this one up and get on to
Absolutely.
Whatever we do next. Yep.
our next business.
Thank you, dear listener, for listening to Freak Force. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jim. Craig, why don't you tell them where they can send us correspondence?
Savage FINcast at gmail.com. Write us in. Tell us what you thought. We'll read your letters on air.
I have strong opinions about creators. I should probably do something about that.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Rude. I'm rude.